Every hybrid athlete has been told the same things. You need loads of running, don't lift heavy, always do compromised running, more volume is better. But how much of that is actually true? Over the last few years, I've tested most of these on myself. Some work brilliantly and others completely ruin my training. Today, I'm breaking down which ones I would actually recommend and which ones I'd never go near again. I'm Matt and I coach hybrid athletes every week across high rocks, athletics, turf games and CrossFit. And I still compete myself. I'm not breaking down these myths from theory. I'm breaking these down from personal experience. I've run these experiments on my own body, in my own training, across multiple seasons. Let's get into it. Myth 1, lifting heavy makes you slow. This one is false, and I want to be clear about why, because the nuance matters. Is there a short-term trade-off? Yes. Heavy max effort lifting does create some neuromuscular fatigue, and that can lead to fatigue in the legs and heavy feeling in the immediately days after that session. That's real. But that is not the same as lifting heavy makes you slower as an athlete. Heavy strength work builds rate of force development. It builds a power that transfers directly into better running mechanics. And it builds a strength foundation that makes every single high rock station less demanding. The athletes who stopped lifting heavy because they were worried about getting slow, they didn't get faster, they got weaker, and then they got slower. Lift heavy, do it intelligently, program it correctly. It will not make you slow. Myth 2, Zone 2 solves everything. This one is partially true, and I'll spend a bit more time on it because it's the most misunderstood. Zone 2 is essential, and most hybrid athletes don't do anywhere near enough of it. If you're doing 3 sessions a week and none of them are genuinely easy, you're missing the most important part you can be doing for your aerobic base. The problem isn't that Zone 2 is overrated. The problem is that some athletes go all in on Zone 2 and they do nothing else. And then they wonder why their race performance isn't improving. Zone 2 builds your engine. It doesn't teach you how to race with it. For high rock specifically, you need threshold work to develop race pace sustainability. You need some anaerobic capacity for the stations. Zone 2 makes all of that more effective, but it doesn't replace it. The version of this myth I give you: do more Zone 2 than you currently do, but don't only do Zone 2. Myth 3, always run after lifting. Compromise running. If you don't do it, you're not training for hybrid performance. False. For most athletes at most stages of their training. I want to tell you exactly what happened when I added compromised running too early in a training block. My standalone running was not in a good place. I was still building the base. And I started adding a 3K run at the end of every session because that's what I'd seen recommended. My running got worse, not better, because I was practicing tired. Inefficient form 3 times a week. I was training my body to run badly. Compromised running has a very specific and legitimate purpose, but only when your standalone running is already strong. When your running base is strong, training it under fatigue is a genuine stimulus. When it isn't, you're just adding junk. Earn it, don't start with it. Myth 4, you need 6 running sessions a week to compete in high rocks. False, and this might be the one that surprises people the most. When I went from 5 or 6 running sessions per week down to 3 structured and focused ones, my running actually improved because I stopped accumulating fatigue and started accumulating quality. Here's what 3 running sessions in a week that works actually looks like. 1 long, easy run at a genuine Zone 2 pace. 1 threshold session, which is your race pace work, and 1 race-specific interval session. That's it. Everything else goes into strength and recovery. And the 3 sessions you do are actually good ones, not tired junk miles that you're just bolting onto an already tired and fatigued body. 6 sessions of mediocre running will not be 3 deliberate, well-structured running sessions. It just won't. Myth 5, hybrid athletes shouldn't bulk. If you're doing endurance sport, gaining weight will ruin your performance. False, and this one held me back for longer than I'd like to admit. The fear is understandable. You're doing running. Body weight matters for running economy, so gaining weight feels counterproductive. But what I found, and what I've seen in the athletes that I coach, is that a deliberate lean bulk phase in the off-season produces strength gains that translate into better hybrid performance than staying light and weak ever did. I'm not talking about an uncontrolled bulk. I'm talking about a structured phase where you're eating to support your strength gains. Lifts are progressing and accepting that your body weight will increase temporarily. The strength you build in that phase carries forward into competition season in a way that no amount of staying lean and training half-heartedly will match. Don't be afraid of a building phase. It might be the single best thing you do for your hybrid performance. So if I had to start hybrid training again from scratch, knowing everything I've tested and everything I've got wrong, here's what I'd actually do. First, I'd build strength before I built running volume. 8 to 12 weeks of serious strength work before I touched anything more than easy running. The strength base makes every single running session more effective. Most athletes do this backwards. Second, I'd do far more zone 2 than felt necessary. The pace would feel embarrassingly easy, I would not care. The aerobic base it builds makes everything else work better. Third, I would not add compromised running until my standalone running was already strong. Training bad form under fatigue doesn't make you better at running under fatigue. It just makes you better at running badly. Fourth, 3 quality running sessions instead of 6 average ones. 1 long, easy run, 1 threshold session, 1 race-specific session. That's it. And fifth, I would not be afraid of a building phase. The strength gains are worth more than staying comfortable and light. Most of the myths that held me back were things people told me with confidence, and I believed them without questioning them. Test things, measure the outcome, trust what actually works rather than just sounds right. If you want to find out where your actual performance gaps are, not guessing, a proper benchmark, I've built a free hybrid performance scorecard that tests your strength, engine, and work capacity against real competitive standards and tells you exactly what you need to work on first. It takes 3 minutes and the link is in the description. Comment which myth surprised you the most below. Genuinely curious to know, and I'll see you in the next one.